Welcome to the Union Station, also known as the Snar. This is a great place to come for chips and snacks like burgers and BLTs. So I'm going to show you around, and then I'll show you some of the different jobs you can do here. So come on in. This is the main seating area. Through this door here is where you'll be working. You've got your salad bar. Through here is the grill station. There are two separate grills here. This one is for vegetarian, in case somebody asks for it. And over here is the regular grill. You'll be responsible for doing things like making burgers and grilled cheese sandwiches and other things. And then over here is the cold board, which is where you make cold sandwiches. Things like BLTs or tuna fish. This is where you get all your supplies. I'll show you this a little bit later. But basically anything you need, whether it be French fries or fresh chicken, it's all back there. And then over here, through this door, in here is what's called the bullpen. It's basically your supply closet. This is where you come to get anything like fresh ketchup or spray for the grill, anything you'd really need that isn't food related. So, when you get here, first of all, you want to make sure that you're in your proper uniform. So, make sure to get a black shirt like this and a hat. You can buy them from the cash ops manager. Now, when you first get here, what you want to do is make sure you wash your hands. Both soap and water. Then, when you're ready to get started, you want to grab a pair of gloves. They're down here. You want to change these pretty frequently, between every couple of orders, just so stuff doesn't mix together and everything stays clean. Okay? Alright. So this here is the time clock. This is where you'll clock in and out using your ID. Now, you want to make sure to show up about half an hour before your shift starts. So, if you're supposed to start at 4 o'clock, show up around maybe 3:30. That way you can grab a bite to eat. Now, remember, it's important to show up in your proper uniform. Like this. Okay? And remember, if you can't make your shift, you have to send in an email to request a sub. Even if you can't make it, you're still responsible for it. And the earlier you ask for a sub, the more likely someone is going to get a sub for you. Okay? Over here is the main grill. This is where you prepare most of the different things that people order. So over here is where you've got your equipment. You've got stuff like eggs, tomatoes, turkey, bacon, tuna fish, lettuce, and all your different cheeses. There are 5 different cheeses here. There's American, provolone, pepper jack, cheddar, and Swiss. And then up here, you've got a bunch of other different types of condiments. So, mushrooms, onions, peppers, a veggie burger, shredded chicken, turkey, and marinara sauce. And so, largely what you'll be doing is filling out orders. So if someone comes up and asks for something, you would then put it on the grill, get whatever else that they request, and put it together. So, while one person is working the grill, there's usually another person who's working backup. The backup person works to fill out the other stuff, the order, while the person on the grill is filling out whatever needs to be cooked. So, for example, backup person gets the plate, puts it down, can get a bun, or if they ask for something else, you'll find different types of bagels. Normal bagel versus an everything bagel, pita bread, and croissant. If your customer asks for it, you can stick it in the toaster. Just let it roll through. Then, you'll put whatever it is that they want on their sandwich. So, for example, a lot of people like lettuce and tomatoes, so you'll generally want to ask, if someone orders, let's say, a cheeseburger, you'll ask, do you want lettuce and tomato with that? And they may request other things. So let's say, for example, someone asks for a cheeseburger. They'll come over here, and grab your gloves. Over here in this warmer is where you keep your meats. So things like burgers and chicken. Grab it and slap it on the grill. Meanwhile, your backup person will get your plate, get the bun ready. If they want lettuce and tomato, this is where you put it on. Get some cheese. Now for anything with cheese, what you do is you spray it with a little bit of water to get the cheese to melt really well. And then you put this on top. So it basically steams it. And there you are. Now this is also very important. When you're done, you take this scraper and you scrape off all the gunk that builds up on the grill. You want to try and keep the grill really nice and clean for everybody else. And now enjoy. I'm going to show you now how to make a fried egg, which is something that's really common. Now, I want to remind you again, wash your hands pretty frequently, okay? It's just a good idea to keep everything nice and clean. And then remember, your gloves are down here. Let's grab them. Provided we can get them on. There. So now this is something that's rather important. You want to come a little closer? When you're doing an egg, you got to make sure to chop the yolk, and I'll show you what that means in a little bit. But you got to cook the eggs through. So, you know, if somebody comes in and asks for sunny side up or raw or drippy or anything like that, we can't do that. That's a health code violation. You have to cook the eggs through. So, take your spray. Spray a nice little area here. Anytime you're doing something like eggs or tuna, something that could really stick, you want to put some spray down. Eggshells go over here in this green bucket, so it can get composted. See how I'm chopping the yolk? Throw a little bacon on, just for hell. So, let's make this to go. So what you do is you come down here. And grab one of these. And let's say it's on an everything thing. This would normally be done by the backup person while the person on the grill is actually watching the egg. Just rip it apart and pop it in the toaster. I'm just going to put a little cheese on. Sometimes it can get a little sticky. The rest of this is exactly like making a cheeseburger. Putting the cheese on and steaming it. I won't finish this. I won't bore you to death. Yep.
Okay.
So this is where you would make anything that's fried. So for example, you could make French fries or onion rings or even a fried eggplant for eggplant parmesan. Now, this is usually done by the backup person. What you'll want to do is come over here to this cabinet. This is where things like the onion rings are stored. Now, if you need a refill, what you'll do is come through here to these fridge and freezer units. Remember I mentioned you can get a lot of different things here? So, for example, this is where other bags of mozzarella sticks are, in case you ever need to redo them. So, let's make an order of French fries, for example. Grab them. And dump a nice, healthy load in there. Then what you do is lower it down, and then you press this down button here. This will start a timer. It'll take about 4 minutes to cook them. And you want to be careful because this is really, really hot, okay? So when you hear that, that means that whatever you're cooking is done. You want to press whichever of these buttons is actually blinking. Then you take it out. Put it right there. Pretty easy.